A PySpark job can read efficiently, it can transform correctly, and still burn money at the final step, that is, the write phase. This is the part many people ignore. They think the job is finished when the write succeeds. But in production, writing data is not just about saving output. The way you write data decides tomorrow's cost, tomorrow's speed, and tomorrow's trust as well. Because today's output becomes tomorrow's input. In part 1, we looked at the read phase. In part 2, we looked at the transformation phase. Now, we are looking at the final question, that is the job slow because of how it writes the data? In production, the final action is often a write. This line does not just save the result, it triggers the Spark job. Spark runs the plan, executes the transformations, and writes the final file. So, if your job becomes slow near the end, the write phase is suspicious. The first write problem is too many small files. This is one of the most common Spark performance problems. Too many small files make the current write slower. They also make the future reads slower as well. Because Spark has to create too many files, storage systems have to manage too many objects, and future jobs have to list, open, and plan around too many files. So the cost continues even after the job finishes. Here, the fix is to control the number of output files. And for that, we use Coalesce, and Coalesce reduces the number of partitions before writing. Fewer partitions usually means fewer output files. This helps when the result is small enough and you want to avoid hundreds or thousands of tiny files. But do not Coalesce blindly. If you reduce too much, one task becomes too large. Then the write becomes slow again. The goal is not the fewest files. The goal is reasonably sized files. Now, the opposite problem can also happen. Sometimes the output has too little parallelism. One or two tasks write too much data. In that case, repartition can help. Here, repartition redistributes the data into 100 partitions before writing. That gives a Spark more parallelism during the write. But again, 100 is not magic number. The write number depends on the data size, cluster capacity, and the target file size as well. So, remember this clearly. Coalesce reduces partitions and repartition redistributes the data and use the one that matches the problem. The second write problem is bad partition columns. This is one of the most expensive production mistakes here. This looks innocent, but if a user ID has millions of values, Spark can create millions of folders and tiny files, and that destroys write performance. It can also make future reads painful as well. This is why high-cardinality partitioning is dangerous. A better partition column is something users actually filter on with controlled cardinality. For example, this makes sense if downstream users commonly query by order date. So, Spark can skip irrelevant date folders during future reads. But even this should not be automatic. If nobody filters by order date, it may not be help as well. And partitioning is not decoration. It is storage design. Remember that. And the third write problem is full overwrite. If every run overwrites the entire dataset, Spark may delete and rewrite data that did not even change as well. And because of that, it burns compute, it increases runtime, and it increases risk as well. For example, if only today's data changed, rewriting 5 years of history is wasteful. The better approach is to write only the affected partitions when your platform or table format supports it. If today's partition changed, update today's partition only, not the whole table. This is where Delta Lake, Iceberg, Hive-style partitions, and warehouse features can help, depending on your setup. The senior point is simple. Do not rewrite the whole table when only one slice changed. Now, the fourth write problem is ignoring downstream usage. A write is not the end of the data engineering lifecycle. It is the beginning of the next read. If you write data in a poor layout, every dashboard, report, machine learning feature job, and analytics queries pays the price later. So, before choosing the output layout, always ask who will read this data, what filters will they use, what grain do they need, will they query by date or by region or by event type, and do they need a reporting table or a detailed event table. This is where write performance becomes data modeling, because you are not just saving files, you are designing how future users will consume the data. Now, how do you confirm write problems? Use Spark UI and inspect the output. If the job slows near the final stage, inspect the write phase. If the output folder has thousands or millions of tiny files, small files may be hurting you. If one task writes much longer than the others, output distribution is uneven. If overwrite takes too long, check whether the job is rewriting too much data. If the future reads are slow, check whether the output layout matches query patterns. And here is the cleanest interview answer. To debug the write phase of slow PySpark job, I check output file count, file size, output partitioning, high cardinality partition columns, overwrite behavior, object storage overhead, and downstream access patterns. Then I control file sizes using Coalesce or repartition depending on the problem. And also I avoid partitioning by high cardinality columns. I then choose partition columns based on real query filters, and I try to avoid unnecessary full overrides. And also I write the data in a layout that downstream users can read efficiently, and I confirm the issue using Spark UI, output file inspection, task duration, and downstream read performance. That answer sounds senior because it does not treat write as an afterthought. A beginner thinks the job is done when the write succeeds, but a senior thinks the output layout decides future cost, future speed, and future trust as well. That is the difference. So remember, too many small files hurt, too little write parallelism hurts, high cardinality partitioning hurts, and full overrides can be expensive, and bad output layout punishes downstream users. And think bigger as well, because data engineering is not just about writing data somewhere. It is delivering trusted, usable usable and cost efficient data across analytics, finance, operations, marketing, customer experience, and business decisions as well. Now you have the full debugging map. That is, we discussed about debugging in read phase, transformation phase, and write phase as well. And question to you guys is, when your PySpark job finishes writing, are you only checking that it succeeded, or are you checking whether the output layout will keep burning money tomorrow? Comment down below.